Today we'll be talking about studying mentor texts. You will have writing partners this year, and it is really important that our writing partners match the kind of writers we are so we can grow together. Seek out someone you can have a professional writing relationship with. Writers read a lot. They read for enjoyment, to learn new things, and to learn about writing. Writers can learn about writing by studying other writers' craft. Just like aspiring quarterbacks in high school and middle school apprentice themselves to the greats like Aaron Rodgers, we can apprentice ourselves as writers to the greats in the world of writing. Today I want to teach you that writers read like writers by studying how authors craft, how they write, their style of writing, the things they do in the writing to help you move along the story. We do this by seeking out great mentors, reading a text as a reader first, then reading a text as a writer. When you do this, you want to slow down to notice their craft and chart observations and name writing strategies we can try out as writers. Remember the book Crow Call that I read to you in class? I admire the author Lois Lowry. She's won lots of awards. I really like this story. It kind of feels like a small moment that grew into a short story about her life. I like the way she tells the story with dialogue and great description and keeps me wondering a bit. I'm going to make a T-chart in my notebook now, text on one side and strategies on the other side. Go ahead and open up your writer's notebook, perhaps to the back of the book, a place where you can keep your notes about mentor writers. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. You will need to open the story Crow Call in the LA support folder and refer to it in the following steps. Do this now. All right. Reread closely, noticing sentences that sounded good and had feeling attached to them, word choice, actions, dialogue, and really tried to think about what Lowry does as a writer that impacts me as a reader. Pick out the text and record it with a page number. Push yourself to name what the author was doing as a general strategy you could try in your writing. For example, they might be very descriptive with the setting. How did the strategy matter to the writing, and what did it do for me as a reader or as the audience? Okay, on page 2, here's an example. It says, it's morning, early, barely light, cold for November. Write this on your T-chart. Now, name it as a series of adjectives on the right-hand side. The strategy is a series of adjectives, words that describe nouns, to describe time and place, the setting. That creates an image and a mood. You can really see what the setting looks like and feel what the setting looks like with these adjectives. So again, on the left, you would record the evidence from the book at the page number, and on the right, your strategy would be using a series of adjectives, in this case, to describe setting. Now you try it. Look for a place when the author used repetition for emphasis, repeating a certain phrase, word, or topic. This shows that it must be something important since the author has repeated it. Go ahead and pause. Another thing you could look for a place where the author is using adverbs, words that describe verbs, to show how the character is doing something. Pause now and look for that. Okay, still more. You could look for a place where the author is describing posture and gestures to show how a character is feeling. Perhaps they are standing or maybe covering themselves with something. Pause now and look for that. Or you could look for a place where the author is attaching dialogue to an action to help the reader visualize the character, possibly something the daughter might have said to the father. Pause now and see if you can find something like that. Okay, let's review. Did you reread closely, noticing sentences that sounded good and had feeling attached to them, good word choice, actions, or used as dialogue, and really tried to think about what Lori does as a writer that impacts you as a reader? Next, did you pick out the text and record it with a page number? Did you push yourself to name what the author was doing as a general strategy you could try it out in your writing, that you could try in your writing? Did you ask why the strategy mattered in your writing and what it did for you as a reader? Did you add everything to your chart? All these things. We want to read text as writers so we can apprentice ourselves to great writers and raise the level of our work. And to do this, we need to study text as writers. One last thing. Remember, if you're a little bit confused, here's very quickly some things you can do. You can look for repeated phrases that emphasize something important. There's transitions that show a time change. There's adverbs that show how something was done. They might use dialogue to show a relationship between people. They might use adjectives to describe the setting, or they may talk about someone's posture or gesture they've made to show the mood. Off you go and do your best work.